Hello, my name is Cecilia Baye. I am the UN Independent Expert on Human Rights and International Solidarity. And I am very pleased to provide this introduction to our revised draft declaration on the right to international solidarity. So, international solidarity is a principle of international law. It's recognized around the world within constitutions in many regions, including Africa, Latin America, and it's included within Title IV at the EU level. So we have case law from regional courts and also potential for incorporating at the domestic level. So international solidarity as a principle is considered to be an expression of unity by which peoples and individuals enjoy the benefits of a peaceful, just, and equitable international order to secure their human rights and ensure sustainable development. In the draft declaration, we set forth a clear non-discrimination standard in order to underscore that solidarity is the idea that all people have the right to enjoy rights without any exclusion or discrimination based on their status. The draft declaration includes paragraphs articulating notions of preventive and reactive solidarity. And this means that solidarity approaches can be used to address concrete global challenges such as health emergencies, environmental degradation, disasters, climate change, armed conflict, forced migration, poverty, violence against women and children, racism, terrorism, and aggression. And the idea is that we can form strategies for cooperating together, both to prevent these disasters from occurring, but also to react when we are in a situation requiring cooperation for victims or for addressing accountability. In the current age of concern for climate change, we have drafted language within the draft declaration that seeks to promote what we would call sustainable solidarity approaches. So we articulate the recognition of the idea that states would have common but differentiated responsibilities when addressing solidarity approaches related to climate change and environmental issues. We also articulate the notion of calling for adequate compensation for human rights violations attendant on loss and damage. So this would be a part of adaptation. And very importantly, we place concrete language looking at the importance of recognizing sustainable agriculture and fishing, as well as transition to renewable energy. So we think that these paragraphs are provocative in terms of providing concrete standards to move forward in sustainability. Most importantly, we viewed solidarity as something that rides on the engine of civil society itself. And therefore, we placed language within the declaration that looks towards having the most inclusive processes to include the voices of present and future generations, but also to ensure the participation of all individuals and peoples regardless of gender, but most importantly, including the voices of the younger generations, to ensure that their voices are present at the national level, at the bilateral, the regional, and the international level. We also call for recognition of cultural diversity and solidarity because of the idea that many societies today are challenged by the exclusion of certain people based on their nationality, their religion, or their cultural background. We want to ensure that solidarity approaches will be inclusive of all, and that the state should do something not only at the national level, but also transnationally, and that would mean including the voices of refugees and migrants. We call for political participation of all people, also at the global level. So we're seeking to promote both women and minorities and other groups in terms of being nominated to positions within the UN and the regional systems. Underscoring again that civil society is the engine of international solidarity, we have concrete language that seeks to empower civil society organizations and social movements, but also pointing out the responsibility of states and non-state actors to counter disinformation and hate speech. We actually call for states to take measures to protect both actual and virtual spaces of communication, and this means providing communities in faraway places with actual infrastructure to be able to share solidarity ideas across borders. In terms of gender solidarity, we call on states to create actual indicators and report what measures they are taking to address gender discrimination and gender violence. And we articulate the importance of countering violence against women and the use of gender stereotypes. In terms of refugee and migrant protection, the draft Declaration on International Solidarity calls on states to provide safe, orderly, and regular migration processes, including providing legal protection. But also, we condemn the use of externalization of migration control, and we call on states to correct these structures and to avoid the use of transfer mechanisms that may deprive asylum seekers of fair process. Another exciting area that we decided to tackle within this declaration is that of corruption. And what we saw was that there was insufficient attention towards asset recovery. So we're calling on states to ensure that they are able to trace and freeze the proceeds of corruption and return the assets to victims wherever possible. In terms of phrasing international solidarity as a right, the decision was made that this right should be one that could be enjoyed both by individuals but also by peoples and groups. And this means that individuals and peoples both would be the central subjects and the participants and beneficiaries of international solidarity. Under Article 5, we include this notion of group association, of a right to engage in solidarity to groups such as trade unions, labor organizations, and other types of associations. We decided to also articulate international solidarity as a duty, and there we created the framework that pursues the respect, protect, fulfill approach, so that states would have the duty to respect, protect, and fulfill, meaning that they both have a negative and a positive obligation to take measures to ensure that the right of international solidarity is enjoyed by persons within their jurisdiction, but also in situations where they exert power in an extra jurisdictional situation. We articulate the responsibility of international organizations to respect this right, and that means that they have to refrain from aiding or assisting a state in any action that would be breaching international law. And the most exciting provision is that where we address non-state actors, and this means corporations, would have a duty to respect the right of solidarity, but we also place on them a duty to provide a transparent, accessible mechanism so that groups such as civil society groups, labor unions, indigenous people can actually present claims to corporations regarding their solidarity concerns. And we're very excited about the implementation of this particular duty. In terms of implementing, we recognize that solidarity may not be justiciable from above because we don't give a justiciability within the declaration itself. Justiciability would be determined at the national level or the regional level in accordance with those instruments. But states may choose to use legislative, administrative, or budgetary measures to pursue solidarity policies. And what we envision is that both states and non-state actors will be encouraged to provide examples of best practice at the Universal Periodic Review. So I encourage all actors to engage and come with their great ideas at the UPR, and I really look forward to learning more about solidarity in practice. Thank you.